The reason that I consider myself non-denominational is because I don't think any religion has a firm enough grasp on what are the expectations of the Supreme Being. What is it that He wants for us to do? What's acceptable and what's not? Because there are people who think that, you can go to the club every weekend and drink, and you can fornicate and have babies with all kinds of different guys, and you can, get high occasionally, and you can never go to church, or you can go to church every Sunday and, backbite during the week talking about all the people at the church. And, this is like this crazy list of things that people feel like they can pick and choose what their bad habits are, and that, they can go out in tight behind pants or Daisy Duke shorts on and still be a Christian and still be, an acceptable example of what it is that God requires of us. And I don't think that that's true. I also think that, there are some that are totally on the opposite end, that are totally extreme and feel like, well, if your skirt's not long enough, it's, because I went to a church like that where your skirt literally had to be to your ankles, where you couldn't wear your hair braided, you couldn't wear certain colors on your nails. And I'm not talking about like, those 16-inch long acrylic nails with 15 colors on. I'm talking like you couldn't get like a French manicure on your toes, pedicure on your toes. That's not allowed. You couldn't wear red lipstick or red nail polish. That was not allowed. Just a long list of things, of the physical things that you just were not allowed to do. You weren't allowed to come into church without a hat or without a scarf covering your head, for females only. Just a lot of physical things that you weren't allowed to do. And I don't think that me, not wearing a scarf when I pray is going to make God turn a deaf ear to my prayers. But at the same time, I don't feel like I can go and curse my baby daddy out or, do whatever, and then turn around and put a Facebook status about how good God is and He loves me. That is not to say that God is less good because you're doing bad things, or that God loves you any less when you're doing bad things. But I think one thing that is really important to understand is that when you present yourself to the world as a Christian and publicly saying, hey, I'm saved, what you're saying is, I'm an example. You can look to me and see God, that I'm allowing my light to shine, that I want you to pay attention to what I do. And one thing that's for sure is that when you present yourself to be saved, the things that you do are more carefully scrutinized, especially by those friends and family members that knew you prior to you being saved, you know what I mean? So that's not to say that they shouldn't be more judgmental of you, because you're still a human, you're still a normal person, but that's just how it works. And for me, I don't feel like there's any set of rules out there that are complete and that are true. I don't feel like anybody on this earth has the capability to say 100%, hey, this and this and this is what will get you into heaven, and if you do this and this and that, you won't go. Nobody knows that, period. And it's just, for most religions, everything that they know is based on a book that was written by someone that they never got to speak to. They never got to speak or see the person who the book is about, and they never got to speak or hear a person who knows a person who knows a person that wrote the book. You know what I mean? For years and years and years and years and years, infinity, the Bible wasn't even written down. It was like a fable, like told to other people. And so it's just one of those things that I feel is very complicated, and I feel like a person who believes in, who's Muslim or who's Buddhist or who's whatever, they believe what they believe for the same reason that I believe what I believe, because that's what my mom and dad believed, because that's what my grandparents believed. I mean, it's what was instilled in me, it's what I was taught, it's what I believe to be true, and it doesn't negate what anyone else believes just because I believe what I believe. And I feel like until you die, you're never going to know if your understanding was the true understanding. You won't know if you're going to hell or heaven until you're already there. And I don't want to be constricted or confined to a set of beliefs that I don't feel are accurate. You know what I mean? So, which is why that's the primary reason that I no longer attend the church that I was at before, because I feel a lot of the things that they were saying just weren't true. And and I'm reading a verse and I'm hearing what he's saying it means, but that's not what it means. I find a lot of people that they take literal meaning out of things that were not meant to be literal. A lot of it's parables. It's not saying that this and this actually physically happened. And I mean, you're not really supposed to chop your left hand off if you do something bad with it. You know what I mean? This is not stuff that's meant to be taken in the context that a lot of people take it. I just feel like the best that you can do is to read the Bible for yourself, and try to get a little better a day at a time. To me, that's the best plan. That's the best thing that you can possibly do. And at the same time, to talk to God yourself and try to really get to a place where you can listen and you can hear what it is that he wants you to do. Because a lot of people are going to think I'm like a total heathen and nut job, but I'm just not totally sure that the Bible is the best tool to getting closer to what God actually wants, because it's an interpretation. Does that make sense? I don't want to sound like an atheist. You know what I mean? Because I'm not. I'm just really... We'll get to that in another video. I just wanted to do a little more explanation of why I consider myself non-denominational. I consider myself non-denominational because I don't identify enough with any one religion, especially after we've been studying other religions in a couple of my classes, that their walk, what they expect from you as far as your life, the devotion that it requires, and the rules that they follow mimic what I believe should be a sound Christian a lot better. But still, some of the things are a little silly. Sayings and things to someone other than God, and having to go to a particular place in the world to be closest to God just doesn't make sense to me. If he's an omnipotent, all-seeing, all-hearing, all-knowing God, then you don't have to be at the Starbucks on Lenox Avenue to talk to him. You know what I mean? Wherever you are, he should be able to hear you. So, obviously that would be a little nuts. But, yeah, I'll get it together, slowly, day at a time. I'll get my religious thing together. I'm exploring right now and really figuring out, what it is. Anyways, back to what I was talking about.